Oh.
Basquiat.
No. Oh no.
Basquiat?
Basquiat.
French.
Basquiat.
Charlotte, you got
Is that
this.
French?
Basquiat?
Yeah.
Basquiat.
Basquiat.
Basquiat's the name of an artist.
Yeah, he's a graffiti artist in the 1980s
Yeah.
that I think became really good friends with Andy Warhol.
Ooh.
And sort of like got into, his art is incredibly like amazing. And he also is well known for having a king symbol. That was his tag when he was a graffiti artist.
Yeah. Familiar.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you guys are familiar with him.
Oh, I just looked him up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just now.
Cool. You are now reacting to the boy group Pentagon and their 2020 release, Basquiat. Basquiat was originally released during the final round of a competition show called Road to Kingdom. You'll be reacting to the performance video of Basquiat that Pentagon released after the show had ended. Pentagon Hui's inspiration behind writing this song came from discovering modern and contemporary art in a museum when he was traveling abroad. Soon afterwards, he discovered Jean-Michel Basquiat's art and became interested. For this song, he was inspired by Basquiat's meaning behind his art, especially his signature drawing of a crown, and connected it to his personal journey with Pentagon as a group. He wanted to capture the emotions of resistance and release of frustration through this song.
Well, that's really interesting parallel to the artist. That'll be nice.
The lyrics' message is to break free, fly high, and escape from the societal pressures and restrictions. With that, Pentagon also encouraged others to raise their voices and to not pay attention to the boxes society put them in. So after the song was released, the hashtag #IWannaHearYourVoice trended on Twitter, where Pentagon fans shared a variety of concerns and stories about how society put them down, betrayed, or abused them.
Society sucks. Let's dismantle it.
The song is composed by Yeonji, Nathan, and the Pentagon members Hui and Woo-suk.
3, 2, 1. Oh. Vaya. Whoa. Okay. Deep drums.
Well, anytime you have like loud toms and a bass going dum 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 dum, it's like,
Good sound.
yeah,
Whoa.
it feels like dwarves mining, you know, in a deep cave.
Please lead into the music with this. Whoa.
Wow. It's a movie.
Yeah. Wow. I feel like this is like a series. Dupometer.
Well, this is a
I
very
resist the gaze
explicit
created by the
version
times.
of expressing the imagery of what society does to us. Cool.
Oh. Oh my gosh, the guitar. Oh.
Oh, hello.
C major sounds
Cool
nice.
now. Yeah.
Whoa, what was that chord?
Whoa.
Neapolitan 6. It's kind of swung.
Nice, 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 nice. Nice, 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 nice.
Parallel.
Nice, nice.
Major.
Ooh, I like that bass drop.
Wow, those strings fill in the space like crazy.
Whoa. Oh, what? That's so cool.
Oh, that's so good and smooth. Oh my gosh, that hit in the first beat is so hard.
I love that mixture.
Riffing.
Really.
Whoa. That's massive dynamic.
Oh, yeah, an F sharp minor.
Whoa. Vocal.
Yeah. Wow.
Just can.
He kept going! He went through the stratosphere.
Sheesh. So many side effects here. I make him put on the crown myself.
As you should. As you should. I love this. I love
This
this,
is a
so much.
revolutionist, very revolutionist piece
That
of
was
art.
great. Wow. When I was watching or listening to the music and watching it, I totally forgot what the message is supposed to be because it was just like so engaging, like on its own. But at the end, when it said, I put the crown on myself, I was like, whoa, now like how powerful that music and the video are really contributes to that like message. And because like it's like a crown and the fires in the back, that intensity just like goes into that like message and makes that message like really strong. So I was like, oh, that like speaks.
There's that one where he's like, we never got yet, and it's a very bright tone, and it's a immediate.
There's a lot of vocal
Transposition.
timbre changes, I would say, in this, between getting like that sound of like being angry, yelling, versus like having that kind of like faint, almost crying sound to it, like desperation, to then just, you know, the range too that they sing in too. So a lot of vocal tone changes, I would say, is probably the main thing that stuck out. It's like when, in Frozen 2, when, well, there's that. But like in Frozen 2, one of the last songs is called The Next Right Thing.
You are lost, hope is gone, but you must.
So she adds these like moments of like she's about to cry, but it's still in her singing voice. I don't know, there's gotta be a word for that, I'm sure.
Nope.
There's something. There has to be. He just
Not that I
doesn't
can think
know
of.
it.
Wow.
It's fine not to know things. She adds like those vocal inflections that happen. The same kind of thing is happening here to kind of lend themselves probably to what they're singing about lyrically. Like when they're talking more about things that are, you know, things that are making them upset or sad, you get those inflections of like their voice breaking. There's not an actual voice break, but it's almost like someone's on the verge of tears, talking, on the verge of tears, but
They use the
but
growl
singing.
motif sometimes.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Just those changes, those little tiny timbre changes that would happen in a conversation. You know, your inflection goes up and down and changes. They fit it to the song and the lyrics.
I think the phrasing in this was also really good. Like what you were saying about like the high points. Like I thought of it like phrasing. You want to pace it very well, and I feel like they were pacing it very well. There were multiple high points, but with like the mixture and the different dissonances that were going on, I feel like just it felt like it felt like a nice phrase, and it flowed very well. The vocals also just
Really shine.
really shine, and I don't know how they haven't.
Sorry, that's one of their songs.
Oh, you know, their vocals just shine, how they deliver each line and how they're delivering their performance. the performance is it shines.
Yeah. What was your favorite vocal moment of the song?
The growl. He was like, no, but being serious, the high note, just the wah, like, but it's like an octave higher than that. So, yeah.
I still can't believe you hit that note.
Well, and I didn't want to comment on it at first because I was like, maybe it's a synth. Like, I didn't actually know if it was the human voice.
He does it live.
What?
He does it live?
Yeah.
Well, that's not fair.
Yeah, what the? Do you also notice that when he goes from belt into falsetto, it's seamless?
He slid up to it. Yeah. That is head. Yeah.
Because I was about to say, that's not just Nessun Dorma, that's an octave above Nessun Dorma.
But that's like, I think it's head voice, but there's got to be, I can't, it's too smart for me. I gotta research it.
Oh my gosh.
I was like shook. Like he had a really high falsetto. I mean, men naturally do, but his was like really strong.
He was like here, and here, and here. I was like, oh.
Yeah, he was getting up there. He was like way, like even for my voice, I was like, okay, that's high. Like that's like high. And he was doing like, I guess like extended techniques, like Hornet's like stopping like natural horn, like he was doing a lot of like growling, and just I felt like he was playing with the timbre of his voice to like kind of mimic the sounds of that time. Like when we got the rock riffs, he started to do more growling, which is I feel like more like the emo scene or something, like
love that.
Like screaming, like rock music.
I thought the visuals were so distracting for this entire video. I feel like I got to the end and was like,
yeah,
fuck. I don't remember anything that happened musically, other than like the text. I know, and I feel like I didn't pay enough attention to the music because I was like, what is going on? Like, I could tell like the moments where I did listen, I was like, this is probably really cool.
Yeah.
Like every time he said like, I'm the new bestie, I was like, oh, that really slaps. Like, that's really catchy. But oops.
I wanted to pay attention to the music, but I should say, I think it's cool to experience the music with the choreography, because it shows you how the percussion can be like overwhelming, like there's a lot going on, but then watching it with the choreography, it's so discerned and sharp, like it just adds to the intensity. Like right away, I felt like I was watching a really intense movie, because they also make really good use of sound effects. Like you have the wind, you have the fire. Yeah, it was just pretty, it was intense, but I was able to follow it and enjoy it.
How was that journey?
Great!
Woo!
Who's the singer that kept doing the F sharps? The da. Well, he did go up there as well, but he was the one who had the really passionate section. Da da da.
He's one of the composers.
Okay, great vocal performance by him. Yeah. I thought that he really, the section where he was looking at the camera and his facial expressions, everything was so into it, was so raw, and the way that he had that guttural sound on the F sharp too, like that really cut, like opened the sound and really made it like taking your skin off, really open. Just, it was a quote.
What?
It was a, David Sedaris said it, as far as he wants to like take his skin off so that he can show everything to his audience. And in a less humorous way of saying that, I feel like that's what the vocalist did with the F sharp. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like the song kind of creates its own theory, like music theory, with the way the B minor and the B major interact with each other. How do you come up with that? How do you be like, oh, we're gonna use B major, and then we're gonna just make the chorus in B minor, and it's gonna sound perfectly, like the cause and effect is gonna just all be there.
Sense. Yeah.
And then after the B minor and the chorus, we'll go back to B major.
Yeah.
And it won't sound repetitive. And then in the bridge did all those other crazy chords. I think they did the late romantic to early 20th century technique of going from the tritone to the dominant. Like C to F sharp.
Oh, I didn't capture that.
Oh, there's like a going into. I think that was there, but there was a C major that goes into the F chord, and I think it was an F sharp major too. So I don't know. I heard it. Yeah, and it didn't sound particularly classical. It didn't sound particularly R&B, but the whole thing did sound sort of orchestral and somewhat tribal with the yells, or like post-apocalyptic, if you will. And it is brilliant.
I feel like every Pentagon song we've listened to, the mixture was just always so spot on. I think I gotta give it to the producers.
Yeah,
Because
it's
they're
good production.
placing the mixture in places that sound so, like, it just sounds right.
They do it in the chorus a lot.
Yeah,
Which
I
you
think
wouldn't
that's-
expect that. Like you usually expect like any type of modal or harmonic mixture to be somewhere that's not like the high point of the texture. Somewhere that's more like leading and anticipatory rather than like the place. Which I find that when there's some type of harmonic like dissonance or mixture at that high point, like a chorus, I find that more interesting. But they did a good job.
That was just really, really, really crazy.
It was an experience.
First of all, the instrumentation was fantastic. I feel as though every time the strings went up and down and whenever they had those pitsy moments, they knew exactly what to do to create the affect of sort of the ambience. And also just to hear the blend of this just raucous, noisy percussion just going every which way, along with these just strung together, these beautifully strung together melodies of the strings and the chordy moments of the piano, and just that created just this euphony of beautiful tension that throughout the entire thing I was so captivated. And then when you add in the voices, just you have a brilliant songs.